Pull up on the block, dash, lit, we glide. Creps on my feet, pockets wide. Up tryna chat, bruv, can't collide. Gas life crew, bruv, by my side. New stack tool, bruv, safe, look tight. Man, I move silent, streets I love at night.
Guess who's black? Black again. ManLikeHoyoo is back. Go tell a friend, because football is everything, and we are here to review the other games that happened on Sunday. So that's the Manchester City versus Bournemouth game, Newcastle versus Liverpool, and Brighton versus Aston Villa. So let's get cracking. But before we do that, please like, comment, and subscribe so you know, and press that notification bell, so you know when I've posted, so you can stay woke. You get me? Margies. Let's get into it. So let's get it cracking, and let's get into the Liverpool and Newcastle game. And boy, oh boy, what a game it was. They had to share a point apiece, and you could see the frailty of the Liverpool defense because of the goals they were conceding and the transitions. And you can see that Newcastle are gonna be okay. They're gonna be just fine this season. You get me, with the new manager and the new look side, if you know what I mean. But yeah, you had Liverpool go behind because of an Anthony Elanga goal, and then they equalise because Goldie Gakpo, the Holland Dutch man of them all, scores and gets it 1-1. But then Joe Willock, literally within 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes, makes it 2-1 to Newcastle before Dominic Szoboszlai scores a final minute penalty in the 90th plus 9th minute. But Liverpool's attack numbers were actually okay. They were decent. It was their defensive transitions that was causing a problem for Iraola, aka Iriola. I'm going to call him Iraola for the rest of this season. Bro, his first Premier League game as a Liverpool manager, this match gave him basically every emotion possible. He was like this, he was like that, he was like, and he was like, as well. But it's one of them ones. That's what football causes. That's what football creates. And as you can see to my right-hand side, the stats are going to be there for this game. Newcastle had 39% possession compared to Liverpool's 61% possession. So you know who dominated the game in terms of the passes and who kept like the majority of the ball. But then Newcastle had 13 shots compared to Liverpool's 27 shots. And 7 were on target for Liverpool compared to 4 on target for Newcastle. So I told you, Liverpool's attack is going to gel eventually. Right now, I can take the piss out of them because they spent 125 million on fucking Isaac. They spent, I think it was 115 or 118 or 120 on the Wirtz, or probably more. Let's have a look and see how much Wirtz got spent in it. Let's go and type into the internet. Wirtz transfer fee. 116 million, ladies and gentlemen. 116 million. Bro, 125, 116. If I had to do my quick math here, it's 241? 241, if I'm not mistaken. 241 million pounds. And bro, I want them to produce fucking 10 goals a game, 15 assists a game, and make sure that they get man of the match every single game. That's what I'm expecting now. But obviously, let's be realistic in it. That's not going to happen. So we got to give them a bit of a leeway in it. But I'm not going to give them a leeway. I'm going to kill them every single time if they do not perform. Because that's what happened to us with Paul Labile Pogba. We got killed every single time 10 years ago. I remember I was only a baby. But I was going off track in it. Let's get back into it. If you're purely looking at these numbers, you might think Liverpool absolutely dominated because Newcastle created something those numbers don't fully communicate. Constant transitional threat. Liverpool had territory, but Newcastle had enormous space whenever Liverpool lost it. That's how Anthony Elanga managed to score his first goal. 5 minutes in, Liverpool are attacking. Too many players move forward, and Gravenberch makes the wrong mistake in terms of a pass. And boy, oh boy, does the centre-back for, I think, Newcastle picks it up, gives it to Osula, and then Osula, who releases Elanga, by the way, managed to sprint past Kerkez, even though Kerkez had a head start in his own half, Kerkez had a head start in terms of, like, he was in the Newcastle half, but he was closer towards his own goal than Elanga. But then the Spitzer ran all the way. Osula saw that he was going to beat him. He was going to smoke him. He was like, yo, Elanga, you want things now. And next thing you know, bam, he gives it to him. And Elanga makes sure that he does not scuff this shot because of the pace he was going at to be able to stop like the road, boom, road runner style, and get it past one of the best keepers in the world in Alisson. Ya Allah. Yo, I gotta hold up my hands, fam. I miss Elanga. I fully miss Elanga, man. I wish he was back at my club. But as you can see in it, this is what Liverpool need to fix. They literally had so many players attacking that the numbers in defense couldn't keep up with the pace of Newcastle. Like, what they need is to rest defense. And that basically means, what shape are you in when you're attacking in case you suddenly lose the ball? When Liverpool commit, fullbacks, midfielders, and attacking players forward simultaneously somehow has to protect against the counter. Against Newcastle, there were moments where that protection disappeared. Iraola admitted afterwards that Liverpool were sometimes trying to do too much in their first phase and needed to finish attacking sequences better. That's what he said. But there are positives to take this from this game. Like I said, the attack, it's gonna click. It's gonna eventually click. With the amount of chances they're having, it's gonna click. But obviously, since Isaac came back to a Newcastle, this is his first game against Newcastle at the St. James's Park. So you know what the hostile fans are going to be like. You get me? And Newcastle didn't need like 60% possession. They knew that Liverpool would push players forward. So their challenge was, can we survive Liverpool's pressure and attack the open grass behind them? Elanga's perfect for that. Raw speed, direct running, as you saw from his first goal, an immediate threat behind Liverpool's fullbacks. Sky's match report noted how Liverpool's midfield was overcommitting, leaving Newcastle able to attack the centre-backs from almost a single forward pass. And that's the key. A team can have 5 attacking players ahead of the ball, but if you only have 2 or 3 players protecting behind it, one pass can eliminate half of your team. Literally just one Kevin De Bruyne pass, gone. But half-time whistle come, and they did kind of improve. I can't deny it. These scumbags, they did improve. Liverpool, 10 minutes into the second half, Ryan Gravenberch finds Cody Gakpo, and then Gakpo receives outside the penalty box. He must have been like 20 yards out, and then he pressed square for a for me, I'll play alternate in it, so it would be circle for you guys in it, for your shoot button in it, to do a low driven shot like it was FIFA from outside that box. You get me? That far out. So fair enough on it. Liverpool responded well after that half-time whistle. It was an excellent finish, and this is why Liverpool still generated 2.74 XG and 27 shots. They weren't toothless. They had pressure. They got into Newcastle's box 36 times. They created shooting opportunities. The attacking structure wasn't completely broken though. And then boy, oh boy, do Liverpool make the same mistake again. This is probably Iraola's most frustrating moment. You've just equalised. The match is yours again. Slow it down. Keep control. Instead, Newcastle attacked them in transition again. Johan Wissa gets possession, drives through Liverpool, beats players. This is Johan Wissa we're talking about, who flopped for them last season because of injuries, had an excellent World Cup, and now he's back. He is back in a black. You get me? And oh my word, Liverpool's midfield protection disappears. Wissa finds substitute Joe Willock, who comes on like I think a couple of minutes beforehand, and Willock had basically just literally slotted it in, and it's a finish for them. 2-1 Newcastle. Can you believe that? Literally as soon as Cody Gakpo scored that goal. But you could see that they didn't learn their lesson from that first goal, Liverpool. It was practically the same strategic issue as the first one. Liverpool attack, Liverpool lose control, Newcastle transition, Liverpool can't recover their structure, goal. If something happens once, it's a mistake. If it happens repeatedly, it's tactical. Iraola, you've got fucking questions to answer right now. And Wissa didn't even score. You get me? Shout out to my brother, you get me? Shout out to my brother, you hear me? Because, yo, what a performance he had. He constantly provided the outlet Newcastle needed. When Newcastle recovered possession, somebody had to carry it, protect it, beat pressure, and connect the midfield with the forwards. And he was your guy. He was your go-to. He was the man of the hour. Because players like Elanga give that style even more danger, because once Wissa draws somebody towards him, there is pace on the other side, and then that's it. They crumble. Structures are not there to be seen. Newcastle didn't need 10 passes. Sometimes there was enough. But Liverpool's bench saves them, and not for the final time, because that bench is going to come in handy for Liverpool this season. Iraola made changes. Victor Munoz and Alexis McAllister, arrived after 63 minutes, with Ronald Araujo and Luis Kumas also appearing later. And Iraola specifically praised the energy Liverpool received from the substitutions. And then comes the 96th minute. Munoz gets into the box. Lewis Hall lunges. Penalty. Stupid lunge. It was a bit soft though from the referee here. It was a bit soft in it. But you could see the tie, the knee, everything clashing about and all that kind of stuff in it. Little tango and that in it. So, long VAR delay 99th minute. No Salah to take it. Szoboszlai steps forward. The corner, top corner, 2-2. That takes serious ball. If you have a look at this image on the right-hand side, and you'll see the penalties that he has scored in the last 10, and it's pretty much the same side. Liverpool probably deserved something from that match. The numbers support that. 27 shots, 2.74 XG, 61% possession, 36 penalty box touches. But if I'm Ola, I'm barely looking at these numbers. I'm looking at Newcastle's goals, because both goals came from the same functional error. It had to be tactical. Ola needs to ask these questions. Who's going to cover these spaces when Liverpool attack and they attack in numbers? What's going to happen? Because, that next game is going to come rapid. And before you know it, Champions League football, League Cup, FA Cup, games galore, games every 3 days, ladies and gentlemen. Liverpool's attack is ambitious. But if 5 players attack and nobody protects behind them, Premier League teams will destroy them. And Newcastle have the exact priorities and profiles to do that. Liverpool created enough though to win this game, but Newcastle exposed the power of Irola's Liverpool that could become a massive problem for them this season. You can't play brave attacking football if your rest defense is basically 2 centre-backs and a player. Now, let's run down the Man City and Bournemouth game, where that game finished 2-1 to Man City. But don't let that result fool you, because welcome to the Enzo Maresca era, where you've got Erling Haaland looking like a Darwizzy on the pitch because he had that haircut. Yes, guys, he's had that trim. He's cut off his Norwegian long hair that used to sit on here. My brother looked like a Viking. Now he looks like a Darwizzy, Darwin Núñez replica, because that's how he played in that game. Oh my word, what a guy. And then there's another thing as well. When we see that lineup, and then we see Guehi in that holding role, questions were asked, things were raised, and let's be honest, no one expected the performance that Guehi went through. But let's get into this game, and we'll analyze it. So you had Marcus Tavernier put Bournemouth ahead after 26 minutes, but then City don't equalise until the 84th minute through Mark Guehi, and then Josko Gvardiol, scores the winner in the 90th +1 minute after VAR overturned an initial offside decision. So technically speaking, City got their perfect start. They got a win, 3 points, comeback, late winner, but technically there were plenty of wavering signs. So again, to my right hand side, we have the possession stats. So Man City, 66% possession to Bournemouth's 34% possession. And then you had 13 shots from Man City compared to 5 shots from Bournemouth. 4 on target for Bournemouth, so that's 80% of the shots were on target, compared to 6 on target for Man City. So that's basically, if I had to do the maths, it's about 45%, 44%. Yeah, but don't let that take that away. That last stat is mad as well at the same time. 8 corners compared to their 3 corners. But 6 penalty area touches. Bournemouth basically lived off the scraps, yet they led for nearly an hour. Quite the opposite. The problem was converting the territorial dominance into goods. Very, very goods. You get me? Not damaged goods, because that's what they could have produced. Like a certain team, if no names being mentioned. So let's go through the lineup as well. Both teams were listed in the 4-2-3-1 formation, but City's possession structure was far more experimental than that basic formation suggests. One of Maresca's interesting decisions, like I said, was using Mark Guehi in midfield and Nico O'Reilly higher up, with Elliot Anderson also involved centrally. At one point, Guehi was playing higher up than Elliot Anderson. It's crazy. And that tells you immediately what Maresca's trying to do. He wants control centrally, numerical superiority in midfield, defenders comfortably stepping into midfield, players occupying different vertical lines, and the ball constantly circulating until somebody becomes free. But Mark Guehi, that Rodri role, he filled it. Not to the extent of obviously Rodri in it. Rodri is a Ballon d'Or winner, world class. The embodiment of this generation's tiki-taka. Pass the ball, bring the ball, pass the ball, take the ball, pass the ball, take the ball, pass the... Rodri is amazing at that. And then the quality he holds in defending, protecting his defenders, second to none. But Guehi got put in that role, and he did not disappoint. He had a couple of good moments, you get me? But the problem was that Bournemouth wasn't interested in chasing every pass. They were happy allowing City possession in areas where they couldn't immediately hurt them. Bournemouth's mindset was don't win the possession battle, win the transition battle. At 26 minutes though, Bournemouth punished City because City lose their defensive organisation, Bournemouth attacks immediately, and Evan Nielsen becomes involved. Tavernier attacks the opening and finish 1-0. Bournemouth had very little possession up until that point, but they didn't need possession. They just needed to capitalise on their mistakes. But when City committed players high up the pitch, Bournemouth's objective, like I said it, win it, look forward, attack before City's structure resets. And they were quick at that. They were very quick at that. City weren't exactly creating nothing though. They created 2.35 XG. Haaland had multiple efforts, but like I said, he was moving like Darwizi. Foden tested Petrovic. Guehi had opportunities, a free header that he missed, but obviously he scored. We'll talk about that in a bit. And City reached Bournemouth's penalty area again and again and again. But did they get a goal out of it? Nah, no. They tried so hard, but ultimately they failed. But the 63rd minute comes, and Rayan Cherki comes on for Nico O'Reilly. And this is probably the most important individual tactic that changed the whole entire landscape of this game. Brother, Rayan Cherki is him. He is him. I just don't get why some manager doesn't want to start him lately. Like, Enzo Maresca has to start him at some point. I know he can be lazy and whatnot, but he's the next best thing you've got to the legend that was once called Riyad Mahrez. Oh my word, people sleep on Riyad Mahrez. He had such an amazing first touch, and he was quality in that final third. Rayan Cherki has that ability to get to that potential, but he needs game time. You have to start him, no matter how lazy he is, and get him in the gym. And don't let him turn into a Hazard. Get him in the gym, because Cherki gave City something different. Instead of maintaining the positional structure, he wants to receive between the lines, manipulate defenders, create, dribble, and improvise. That's the quality of a player he is. Like, literally, I love watching players like him, because at the same time, there's no structural regime in his head. He's just like, yo, adult rep motive. I'm just gonna vibe. Football, give me football, and I will vibe, and I will do something out of nothing. That's what Rayan Cherki is like. And the 84th minute, Cherki takes the corner. Guehi attacks it. Header, 1-1. Oh my word. Pinpoint cross. Then 7 minutes later, Cherki scores again. He shows balance and creativity around that box, or around that, just outside the box, gets past a couple of mans, jinky, and then slides it to Gvardiol. Gvardiol reads that line perfectly, because the linesman was like, yo, offside, straight away. He didn't even hesitate. My brother didn't even question it, but guess what? Gvardiol was like, calma. VAR overturn this decision, because he is on. My man is a defender, and he's moving like a prime fucking Javier Hernandez. And guess what? Cherki assisted that as well. 2 assists in less than, 20 minutes since starting. He come on the 63rd minute, so, yo, he didn't have plenty to do, but he can get it done. But yeah, let's talk more about Guehi's role, because this is one of the most interesting players tactically in this new City side. He basically can defend transitions, step into midfield, circulate possession, attack aerial situations, as well as run down the channel. Because I've seen him a couple of times, and they tried to do 1-2, and he made that run. Guehi, team player, I rate it. And eventually, he scores that City equaliser. But there's something very potentially interesting over here. Maresca could use Guehi almost like a tactical chess piece, holding midfielder in another, penalty box threat when City needed a goal, and a defender when you need to defend. Talk about a jack of all trades. My man shouldn't be called Mark Guehi. He should be called Jack in the bloody box, because he can do it all. But yeah, City got 3 points, but this felt more like proof of concept than the finished product. Maresca's ideas are clearly there, but right now, Rayan Cherki looks like the man capable of turning all the control into actual chaos. That's what I love about him. One small things. He is an absolute... So, you know how there's people that live in, like, just cleanliness, they live in just, sobriety, they live in just, like, the normal day-to-day lives, in it, with no absolute wonder of what it feels like to be on the other side of life. It's just like a football player as well. They just rather do the simple things correct, pass it first time, cross the ball, all this kind of shit. But Rayan Cherki embodies something I like to call chaos. And once you thrive in chaos and you know how to maneuver around the chaos, bro, you become elite and unpredictable. Like, there's no one's gonna stop you, because they can't predict what you're gonna do next. Because when you have a normal life, people become predictable in terms of, okay, Gary Neville's gonna go down the wing and then cross the ball, and you know what he's gonna do. Fucking Robin is gonna cut back on his left hand. Sometimes you can stop it, sometimes you can't, but you know what he's gonna do. Rayan Cherki, you don't know what he's gonna do, and that's what I love about him so much. And in the final game of the day today for my video, we're gonna be talking about Brighton and Aston Villa, where Brighton thrashed Aston Villa 4-0. My word. Oh my God, they got destroyed, because Aston Villa didn't just lose their first Premier League game of the season. They were 4-0 down after 31 minutes. Victor Lindelof Own goal in the 8th minute. Max de Cupia, 18th minute. Jack Hinchelwood, 30th minute. Jack Hinchelwood again in the 31st minute. Then João Gomez gets sent off in the 40th minute. And here's the important bit tactically. Every single Brighton goal came while it was 11 versus 11. João Gomez got sent off after that goal. Oh, he was crazy. He was a subliminal. Brighton wrapped them. That's what happened. They wrapped them. So then once again, you have a look at the stats right next to me. You had 73% possession for Brighton, followed by Aston Villa's 27% possession, compared to 6 shots from Aston Villa and 21 shots from Brighton. 0 on target for Aston Villa and 6 on target for Brighton. That tells you everything. That tells you everything. Like, it's just not normal. This is a complete tactical dominance from Brighton, because Brighton generated 3.4 expected goals purely from open play, and their highest amount in a Premier League match since Opta, and tracking that metric in 2021-22. Like, it doesn't make sense. The pressure, the attack, everything about Brighton screamed, yo, we're about to WUs. But this is where the game was tactically won. Villa actually started really well, because you had Emily Buendia, who made a host of chances at the start of the game in the first 10 minutes. But then Brighton increased the pressure on Villa's build-up, and the game completely changed from then, because they triggered the press, but it was a mistake. But basically, for the goal to happen, who was it? It was Ian Matson, and it gives a long ball in it. Instead of pushing it forward and into attack, he gives it back to his defenders, and boy, oh boy, does trouble start from there. Because Pau Torres receives possession of the ball, and instead of progressing it forward, he pays an awful back pass back to his keeper, and then it fucks up. It fucks up so badly, and the fortune in the final touch is from Lindelof. Lindelof makes the final touch, and he goes into the back of the net. It's unfortunate for him, because he tried to keep the ball out. But this is what happens. Brighton looked like they wanted blood, and they weren't going to stop until they drained every single ounce of Villa's blood. And the second goal is even more interesting, because it was just one long ball into Rutter, because Lindelof managed to step out of his line, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to go press that man in front of me. But no, little did he realize that Pau Torres is going to need a hand with this brother. Oh my God, Rutter managed to run nearly half the length of the pitch, all the way into the box here, and managed to find fucking De Cupia, obviously it's called De Kuiper, sorry. Yeah, he manages to find him, and they make it 2-0. Oh my God, that side got destroyed for Liverpool. That right-hand side and the left-hand side completely annihilated. And then Hinchelwood scored 2 goals in 80 seconds. That third goal shows Brighton's occupation of the penalty area. De Kuiper delivers from the left. Diego Gomez gets to the back post. Instead of forcing the header towards goal, he intelligently heads it back across goal. And then Hinchelwood attacks the central area. Header, 3-0. That's brilliant box occupation. They managed to make sure they put bodies in that box so that something can happen out of nowhere. And it does. Oh my God, you got players delivering, back post runner, the central runner, and Villa defenders have to continually change orientation. But who did it follow? Who did it follow? Because they got man going here, man going there, man going this side, man going that side, man going everywhere. It's that's how the game is at the moment for them. And oh my word, 80 seconds later, yeah, Villa recycled possessions backwards. João Gomez receives it on the around the edge of the box. What a fucking poor game he had. A poor game, yeah. And Yashin Ayari presses. Gomez gets dispossessed. Hinchelwood react immediately. Finish 4-0. Khalas. Game over. Brother, you literally just conceded. You're supposed to calm the match down, and Aston Villa immediately present Brighton with another chance. And boy, oh boy, did João Gomez have a horrible debut, because Gomez had already been involved in the 4th goal. Then shortly afterwards, he loses possession again, and then frustration kicks in. He lashes out at Rutter with his leg in it, because like, yo, I'm pissed. VAR reviews it. Straight red, 40 minutes in. Bro, what a debut he had. What a debut, fam. That's how you can tell. Yo, I love Brazilians, innit? Their flair is fucking up there, innit? When it comes to the samba and, you know, oba, oba, oba. But at the end of the day, they are hotheads. Do not piss one off, because, yo, if you try to, like, you know, rage bait them, they will crash out. And that was one of the biggest crash outs I've seen from João Gomez. And the main thing is to question about Aston Villa. How have they gone from winning the Europa League and qualify for Champions League football to their main striker, Ollie Watkins? We haven't even talked about Ollie Watkins this whole time. Yeah, refusing to play and trying to leave for Saudi Arabia just 3 months later. Because you've seen that interview from, who was it? Unai Emery. He was like, yo, go ask him. Go ask him what's going on and why he's not here. Yo, my man's trying to force a move to Saudi, fam, because he's seen his boys. They're all gone. All his boys in it, they've all gone in terms of the transfers. You had about 10 players in it that I think could make up the first squad that's left from Villa right now. That is ridiculous. That's insane to see. And that's only 10 permanent transfers, because they've had 4 free transfers go, 9 loans out, and 8 players released. That's 31 confirmed outgoings. Ridiculous. No wonder Ollie Watkins wants to leave. No wonder he wants to leave. But in my opinion, if they lose him, they will be losing a focal point. But they should get somebody that I believe could do well for them. Nicholas Jackson, this is your calling. Go head over to Villa before the end of the transfer window. Let's go. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an excellent review. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Probably tomorrow when I'm going to be reviewing the Chelsea game. You hear me? Take care. Peace on the streets. It's a fucking jungle out there.